Kogen's sitting there, but he's probably
He
doing
is.
doshi.
He's-
Okay, so
because
we
he's-
just don't have edges.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect Wisdom Sutra, we reverently offer the merit to great benefactor and founder of the doctrine, the original teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha, to the countless Buddhas and bodhisattvas that permeate the myriad worlds, to the eternal three jewels in the 10 directions, and to all teachers of the true Dharma who transmitted the flame, that we may repay their compassionate blessings. We further offer this merit to all the Dharma-protecting devas, to the Dharma-protecting saints, to the earth spirit of this place, to the temple-protecting spirits. What we pray for is flourishing of the true Dharma, peace in the land, harmony among all nations, tranquility within the Sangha, wisdom and prosperity for countless supporters, continual turning of the two wheels. May we, with all beings, realize the Buddha way. The merit of this recitation of the great compassionate heart Dharani to all beings in the 3 worlds and 6 realms, and especially to Cindy LaRae, Jeremy Jarvis, Kai Boudet, Eric Njuye, Raphael Aldave, David Chowick, Kim Mason, Roddy Adams, Joan Enrigo, Suzanne Fairchild, Larry Soberman, Dave Allen, Rotten Lab, and to all those who have died in natural and human-made disasters, including acts of terrorism, violence, political persecution, and war. May they be serene through the transition we call death. We also dedicate this merit to Stevie Dahl, Christopher Kuntz, Kathleen Ellen Wen, Andrew Frankel, Jim Earl and family, Cade, Faith, Cindy, those affected by the conflict in Iran and the Middle East, Mother Earth. May the heart of compassion illuminate their lives. We pray that all beings may prosper and all misfortune cease. Zazen. The children may exit the hall. Sutra opening verse.
Start with names.
Kogen,
Kisei,
Shuso,
Jikye,
Kogen,
Christian,
Jason, Sarah, John,
Sokai,
Anu,
Myogen,
Horaku, Jiko, Joshin, Onshin, Prampreet, Kate,
Tojun,
Iso, Cash,
Haley,
Haley, Emmanuel,
Francis,
Francis,
Seo,
Seo,
Eider,
Eider,
Zazen,
Zazen,
Kishin,
Kishin,
Suiho,
Suiho,
Shinyu,
Shinyu, Keijian,
Nancy,
Nancy,
Ray,
Ray,
Corbin,
Corbin,
Ian,
Christopher,
Kaku,
Kaku,
Rizzo,
Rizzo,
Audrey,
Audrey,
Olivia,
Oni, Ernest,
Delilah and Aspen,
Delilah and Aspen,
Joanna,
David, Yosei, Leo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you all for coming out in a brisk spring morning, but that keeps us moving. So, it's springtime, what can I say? No Dharma Talk. Okay. No. Well, we're fortunate to live in such a lovely place with spring that unfolds in several months actually, with wild hazelnuts flowering in early February. Now we have this plum tree, the pears are starting, ubiquitous daffodils. And so, there are challenges and problems, and then the flowers keep up their good work, and so do Buddhists. So, the title of this talk is Entering the Gate of the Six Paramitas. Most of you are familiar with those, and you practice and live with them. Essential Buddhist teaching and medicine. However, before I enter into that, I had the good fortune of traveling and studying in a Buddhist culture, Thailand, southern Thailand. However, I was living amongst mostly Muslims on an island with 3 mosques. And so when I would get up to sit Zazen early in the morning, I would hear in the distance the call to prayer. So it's quite beautiful. And they're essentially practicing in some ways what we do. And they get up about the same time. They pray 5 times a day, and the first one is in the pre-dawn. And that call to prayer is a very mysterious, kind of poetic sound. But before I got there, I was living in a little town, and that's a Buddhist town primarily, and there's a complex of buildings there with monastery and temple where one can go in, the public can go in. And about 5 a.m. they ring a large bell, and it washes over the town. And it's quite a lovely sound. I'll read just a little bit of this here. As karma and dharma would have it, just a few words about living amongst the Muslims and Buddhists in the far south of Thailand, at the edge of the Adamant Sea. At about 5 a.m., at the monastery on the hill above town, a large bell is struck. The sound washes over the town. In the morning light, barefoot monks walk through town with their empty bowls, receiving alms and offering blessings. Mm-hmm. And they walk through Muslim neighborhoods and receive offerings. In the stillness before dawn, in the mosque, from the mosque minaret, a call to prayer, a mysterious mingling of faiths, practicing charity and compassion, the diamond that cuts through delusion. Right? Okay. So we were studying the Diamond Sutra last term, many of you, and that was my primary focus while I was traveling. That's what I did every day, was engage in that sutra. And if you read the commentaries on Red Pine's book, he elucidates that just right in the beginning, as the Buddha takes his seat and starts to teach, that the 6 paramitas are right there, unfolding. Very subtle and elusive in some ways, but the paramitas are right there. And then in what is considered the oldest Mahayana text, the Prajnaparamita in 8,000 lines, in the first few pages, the 6 paramitas are there. So it's an ancient teaching, starting with the Buddha, and there was no writing for a couple, 300 years, and then in the earliest texts. This is the core teaching and medicine of Mahayana Buddhism. Now there are 10 paramitas in Theravada and Vajrayana, the Tibetans, but we will explore 6, and that's a good start. So the 6 paramitas can be translated as the 6 perfections. And of course, we have no desire to be perfect. It's more about unfolding and developing these profound teachings. And so we perfect them in the sense of practicing and living with them. So it is not an abstract and distant philosophy. It is a way to live and practice right now, which is what many of you do. So, the 6 perfections, a path to awakening, and the awakening is not in the distant future, but as we practice, as we were sitting this morning, engaged in Zazen and prajna, and observing our minds, and there's little spaces of stillness and quiet, and when we're in that stillness and quiet, then we're connected with all the fibers of the universe. And the paramitas are a direct way to live our lives in this world in a more conscious and, I would say, joyous way. So, dana, which we often say here every Sunday, the offerings, that's generosity, or in the Diamond Sutra it's usually referred to as charity, and the Muslims refer to it as charity. Sila is ethics, morality. We all work with that in our lives, and should, need to. Kasanti, patience, forbearance, deep down into patience. We all know that. Society works well when we practice it, and we all do. Virya is vigor, bringing energy and awareness and clarity and vitality to what it is we're up to. with the other three Paramitas. Dhyana, meditation. You all just engaged in that. And prajna, wisdom. But wisdom beyond wisdom. Not necessarily the wisdoms of the Greek philosophers. So these are to be practiced, daily. This is the practice of what we refer to as a bodhisattva, and many of you have taken the vows of a bodhisattva, and this informs the life of a bodhisattva, and all those who study and practice Zen we're junior bodhisattvas. Good place to be. And actually, while I'm on that topic, at this little island that I was at, there's this 35-foot sculpture of Kuan Yin. So that's the Chinese name for Avalokiteshvara. And it's Chinese-looking image. Painted beautiful bright colors, and it's flanked by two big nagas, two big dragons, like 30 feet tall. It's right at the edge of the sea, facing east. And next door is the mosque. Right? Great, fine. So I would go down to this little temple, and there was one old toothless monk that lived there. And so we were friends. But I don't speak Thai except for a few words, and he didn't speak English. But we didn't need to talk. He would hand me a candle and say, okay, go over to the altar and light those candles there, with gestures, and then, light this incense. And then he would recite in Thai various prayers, and then I would follow. When we would do that, we would bow, and I would leave. So, very interesting things going on out and about. Now, what's interesting there also is he was a Theravadan monk. Right? The monks in Thailand are Theravadan monks. And the sculpture is Chinese. That's Chinese, Chan. And so you have this mingling, and all of the graves around the temple were all Chinese, in Chinese markings. I would visit all the graves. There was a crematorium there. And then my friend and I wandered through the jungle, and on a stone right at the edge of the sea, a big stone, was a Buddha sitting facing the sea. Right? So it's quite a mix. So there's a lot going out there in the world that we don't know about, that people are cooperating and living together and have for, thousands of years. So that's our work here in UG. So, Dana, Sila, Shanti, Virya, Dhyana, and Prajna, those are Sanskrit words. We use them occasionally. It's not critical that one does. And each one of these is actually quite involved as far as you can, for instance, Dana, generosity, and we'll say that. And we reach out to the community that we would receive support in some way, volunteerism, money. There's various ways to do that. So that's Dana. But Dana is deep and complex also. It's very simple, and it's something to explore as far as, what am I doing? What do I want to receive for it, from it? And watching your mind in relationship to Dana and giving. Do you expect something back, which is not necessarily a negative, but it's good to be aware of what you're doing. And the Diamond Sutra, the Buddha's teaching, Subhuti, that generosity is absolutely critical, but with no attachment. So one has to examine, what does that mean? No attachment. We can get pretty attached to stuff and things we give, and so that's important to explore the complexities and the depths of Dana. And of course, monks and nuns don't own anything, and they practice Dharma. So there's a spectrum of possibilities, just with your language, your actions, your thoughts. So it's deep and ongoing. And so ethics, of course, we could use more of that maybe in society. But society works because there are ethics and morality. And again, within the practice of these, you're studying them, you're reading commentaries on them, and so forth. So it's, I mean, you can go on and on. You're reading poems and gathas that would have been written about this. And what's taught and stressed in relationship to these six is that prajna, wisdom, is, if the paramitas can be visualized as a mandala, then prajna is in the center and radiating energy to all the others, right? The perfection of wisdom. Another term for that realm is shunyata. You all know that most likely. Emptiness, which is not empty but vibrating with energy. And so prajna informs all the paramitas. It's key to all of them. They inform one another. Prajna is central. So when we're sitting zazen, we're engaged in the element of prajna. When we're watching our mind and it's flying all over and this and that and the next thing. And then there's spaces of quiet, and that quiet is, the connection with that vibratory field. I'll read this little bit of a quote. The six perfections describe the true nature of an enlightened being, which in Mahayana practice is to say they are our own true Buddha nature. Often the perfections are obscured by our delusion, anger, greed, and fear. By cultivating these perfections, we bring this true nature into expression. Yes, lovely. So this quote is from Barbara O'Brien. Some of you may be familiar with her. She's a contemporary Zen Buddhist practitioner and writer, and she has written The Circle of the Way, A Concise History of Zen. And I highly recommend it. It's really a lovely book. And she's quite something as a writer and an insight into the history of Zen. That she looks at it in a little bit different way. One, from a woman's perspective, which is refreshing, and also as a practitioner of Zen and a very fair scholar, I would say. So, yes, the six perfections, engaging our own Buddha nature. And, you always say, well, where's Buddha nature? What is Buddha nature? Who has Buddha nature? Is that really true? And as she had mentioned, these defilements in our life and consciousness, fear, delusion, greed, little bits of it bubble up in all of us to some degree or not, but they're there. We often refer to them as the three poisons, and it's not a negative thing. It's about studying the mind and say, oh, okay, I see what I'm up to here. I can do better, and so forth. That's the beauty of meditation and reflecting, and so forth. It's fine. And bringing the teachings of the Paramitas into your daily life is what that's about. It's medicine. It's very direct medicine into the human condition. Daily in our meal chants, we realize the emptiness of the three wheels, giver, receiver, and gift. Now that's interesting if you reflect on that. The emptiness of the three wheels, right? The prajna of the three wheels, giver, receiver, and gift. So we're always separating. That's part of the human condition. And dualities and separation. It has its place, provisionally it does. But then there's, another way to go, or one of the ways to go, working with that. May we realize the emptiness of the three wheels, giver, receiver, and gift. That's quite something. Work with that one a little bit, so we're taking our food, and, that food was, like Thich Nhat Hanh goes into that in such a poetic way, that food is grown by the farmers, and the farmers had children, and they had neighbors, and they had to get the water from the river, and it goes on, the complexity. The rain feeds the river. So it's all interrelated, and that's what the Paramitas are about. We're going into a deep dive, so to speak, into that realm and practicing these. And it's intellectual to some degree, but then as you embody it and practice it, it is not. It's a personal experience, a living life force. The morning bell, a call to awaken. Let go of shunyata. No self, no letting go. Are there any questions?
Kogen.
Insights, jokes? I don't know.
For the first 5 paramitas, it seems like there is a clear enough way to at least begin practicing them. But for prajna, what is the practice? What is the practice?
What is the practice?
For prajna.
You've been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. That's all I can say.
Could you say a little bit about your upcoming class?
There will be a class on the Paramitas starting Tuesday for any that like to. It's more of a sharing. I'm the facilitator, more so than the teacher. And there is a text by Dale Wright, excuse me. It's a very good text. I've studied it before. He's a professor in Southern California, and he's really deep interested in Buddhism, the medicine that Buddhism has for Western society, for everywhere, and he writes about it extensively. So he's created this text on the Paramitas, and we're going to use that to guide our exploration. So that starts Tuesday. The texts are out there. They're for sale, and they're available for use. That's the story.
Kogen. Excuse me. I'm thinking about patience and how that fits in a way, in the correct way, a good way, a useful way, with the things that our country is engaging in that, like, perhaps I don't like. How does patience fit into that?
That's a good question. Yeah, if you want to just jump up and scream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good question. So patience, well, at the root, of that possibly is the teaching, there is suffering, the first noble truth, there is suffering, and it's true. And so how do we work with that? And that's what the Buddhist teachings are about. And so as we see what's unfolding all around the world in real time, it's very difficult. For deep forbearance, going deep into forbearance, this is where humans are at right now. Right? And the reason we're here today is because people feel like we can do something as humans that is very positive and helpful and creative and that. So everyone in their own way, whatever that is. If you're a journalist, you're going to do what you do there. And we all need to do what we can do in our daily lives there's been conflict for thousands of years. Now we have media, and we have weapons that haven't existed before, and so it's an issue. And I say each of us has the power to do what we can do in our own lives, in your everyday interactions with whomever. Okay? And thank you.
Kogen? I am in thinking about what you just said about the meal chant, reflecting on the emptiness of the giver and the receiver and the gift. I can't help but think that in a lot of ways, the way that we love other people and our love is very much kind of in that same frame, like a giver, a receiver in the gift of love. But how do we graciously receive gifts like that? I feel like to give is this outward facing thing, but to receive feels much harder.
That's a good point, because I think some people it's easy to give, but not to receive, and that's a lovely way of being human, going into that deeper. Right? It has to do with the human heart, really. Gratitude is a nice practice. So we're talking about dana and giving and at various facets of that. Gratitude is like the flip side. Go, okay, how deep can I go into gratitude? We all say thank you, and it's polite society and that helps, but we can go into that a lot deeper. The mystery of the human heart.
Thank you for sharing the stories about where you were staying in Thailand and that kind of the imagery of very different and vibrant religious communities living together. I think that's something that we don't have a picture of here. And I was really struck by the imagery of the monks doing alms rounds through Muslim neighborhoods as well, and like what that has to say about the perfection of generosity, the perfection of dana. Like what is it to go with our open heart and open hands to everyone, not just to who we think is going to be receptive to us, and what are the monks offering by doing that, and what are they receiving from the people who don't give to them and for the people who do. And I just wonder if you could say a little bit about generosity.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. It's, it's just like, I'm just amazed, just being around the energy and everything, I don't speak the language, but, it works. People are respectful. Thank you. It's fine. And somehow, I'm sure there's conflicts, different parts of the world there is that too. by mostly what I saw. You know, I went to Muslim restaurants, I went to the fruit stands, and women wore these lovely scarves around their heads so you can see their glowing faces, and it comes down over their shoulders, and they're very sweet to me. I'm a total stranger, different race, and it's no issue at all, actually. And so, yeah, I mean, if we can, you know, carry some openness, the media, it doesn't contribute to that, really. You know, mass media, for the most part, it dwells on dualities, and humans have so much more capacity than that. So I experience that, where, you know, these people do have media, but that's not the center in their lives, and you can see it and feel it. And so, you know, we do have that capacity, so we need to say, wow, how can we manifest that in our own society right here in Eugene? That's what we've got. And people do, you know, you do it. And, but it's something that we need to work on. So thank you.
Kogen, I just feel like I want to add that I think we can learn a lot from young people.
Really?
Yes, we can. So my granddaughter, my granddaughter who's 17, just of her complete initiative and curiosity, went to service at Bethel Temple here on the corner of 18th and Cleveland, and she said they were super welcoming and introduced themselves, and she felt really comfortable there, even though they were all very different from her and older people. But I was like, you went there all by yourself? She goes, yeah, I was just curious.
Oh, wonderful.
And I'm like, that's so cool, you know. And so I think that I don't know. I just found it really profound that she was able to do that and just go and feel welcomed. And she took some they were doing some kind of dancing. I can't remember the name of it, but the service was just very different from what you might expect. There was an African American man dancing on stage in this particular style. I don't know what it was called. I can't remember the name, but and she was really moved by it. That was an expression of his faith. So just want to throw that in that those opportunities are available to us.
There's something to be said for youthful idealism.
Yeah, yes, there is.
Many good things have always come from that. Right? Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, there's a seventh paramita that was brought up towards the end of the Diamond Sutra. Upaya, skillful means. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. They added that one at the end of the Diamond Sutra. Skillful means. That's very, very useful. Engaging with our brothers and sisters. And there's a Zen center in New Mexico, Upaya, that's the name of it.
Kogen, the comment that we have the Islamic Center here in Eugene as well. It's very welcoming as well. I've got some Afghan connections with the Muslim community, and I've been there several times, and you'll find that they're very welcoming there too. They're in the midst of Ramadan going on right now, and the big Eid celebrations coming up, I think Thursday this coming week there. So it's a very high time. I don't know if you had much with Ramadan going on.
It was happening. Yeah.
We're wrapping up this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very, just, you know, whether it's it's very interesting to touch bases with these other religious, and they're here hiding in plain sight in Eugene.
Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing that. That's not so well known.
Kogen?
Yes.
I understand that we need to work within our daily lives to have the impact that we can. But how do we know when we can step out? What is that? What is it that helps us know that it's okay to do something different?
What do you mean by that? No, different though, in what sense?
Well, just change.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when to use some internal drive to create. Is there a way to understand that a little more deeply?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's an important question. I don't know, but sometimes people get these inspiration, this urge or inspiration, and I think part of that is courage. That we all have the capacity for that, but it takes courage to be courageous, and that's not so easy for a lot of us, right? And so I think it's like, and the great inspirations to humans are people that do that, and many people do it every day in small ways. We do it. Everyone here does it in little ways. I think so. And the heroes are the ones that do some really profound thing, like Mother Teresa or what have you. That's just one example of millions, really. And so it's a good point. So one could, I'm sure most of you do, is they go, well, what else can I do? In this challenging situation, like people do here, they give socks to the homeless, and they gather food, Buddhist temple, and on and on and on. And so people are doing that here, and we'll all do what we can in little ways. And that's all you've got. All you've got is the present moment. That's all that's actually real. There is some element where we need to make certain plans, that's for sure. And then there's only the present moment and whatever you can do in that moment. Right? And if you get on a bus and you thank the bus driver, that's it. Your life may be over in 10 minutes. I don't know. But the present moment is where we act.
With two young children, I feel like I've been pushed to my absolute limits of patience and vigor. And I feel like people are going to say meditate and take a breath. It sometimes feels like that's not even possible. And here we go. And I want to know, what's a place where I can even start?
Having a 2-month-old child?
Approximately, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
wow. I can't really say to a mother what. All I can say to you is thank you. But I do have a daughter, and I helped to raise her, and slept right next to her, and she still talks to me. We're friends. I listen to her cry and constantly, and little ones like that, fuss around, and well, you're experiencing it firsthand, and that's one of the big tests of we're all human. We all had a mother, and our mothers nurtured us like that. So thank you. And keep being patient and vigorous, and you'll do it.
Okay.
Shall we have tea and coffee?
Sangha
Are there any announcements?
I'm Zazen, and I would just like to offer a couple words of gratitude for some of the generous offerings that our Sangha provides here. One of them, just sitting here, I'm in appreciation of this space here, this hall that many Sangha members helped build and create, including Kogen. Was very instrumental in that happening, and we used to meet out here, if you can imagine that, very squished in over there. So, and also so many people help keep up all of the grounds and all of the temple and help out when things break down or just need maintenance. Also, gratitude for all of the food donations. Many people donate so much food, and that provides for the residents, provides for us when we're in sesshin, and we can all even stay for breakfast after morning service if we wish and join in. So gratitude for that. And my own practice of generosity, I find that it starts off with this kind of clinging to sort of me, my, and maybe I don't have time or anything to offer, and then somehow some space opens up and I touch into this greater field of complete support. And so very grateful for this practice and all of you, all of us, for our practice.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel. Myself and Christopher were your greeters this morning. If you have any questions, you can talk to us and we'll either answer them or direct you to somebody who can.
I have an announcement. Buddha Ai has a Kanzeon committee which is here to help people who come here through difficult times. And we have many ways of doing that. We are the ones who coordinate the sock drive and the food donations when we reach out to our larger communities. So we appreciate your questions and interactions with the Kanzeon committee. We meet the third Sunday of the month, and if you have any needs or questions, feel free to talk to our members. If they could raise their hands right now just so we can see who they are. And Issei also is part of the Kanzeon committee. Thank you.